Coming up on this episode of The Power of Real Estate.
Sometimes I don't feel like getting on the phone with the coaching client, but guess what? I do. And 5 minutes in, I'm already like, and another thing is activity breeds activity and blah, blah, blah. And so, okay, what's your goal for this? And how many people is that? And blah, blah, blah. And oh, really? And so before you know it, I'm all into it and I blink and it's been 55 minutes on a coaching call and it's time to get off the phone.
Michelle, are you ready?
Of course not.
Standing by in 3, 2, 1. She spent over 20 years as a successful realtor and realtor coach, recipient of over 40 sales, leadership, and literary awards from the legendary Music Row in Nashville. This is The Power of Real Estate with Michelle Moore.
Hello and welcome to The Power of Real Estate. In the studio today with producer Jimmy. Hi, producer Jimmy.
Hello, Michelle. You look like Johnny Carson over there with that pen beating it on the table. You remember that back in the day?
Yeah, a little bit. I saw on reruns.
Yeah. He used to have those pencils, and they had erasers on both ends.
Oh.
Because he didn't write with them. He just kind of was just nervous. He was like tapping on the table till he get to the end, he'd flip it over and do it again.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Sure did.
Okay. Are you achieving the success you want?
Of course I am. Not.
I have yet to meet an agent that says, you know what, I'm too successful.
Yeah, I'm making too much money.
Yeah, just too much. I'm gonna back it down some.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna work less.
Yeah, don't want to get wealthy. I'm just, amazing. All right, so achieve the success you want. Here's some things I got to thinking about the other day when for today's show, and I thought, so many people are not achieving the success that they want, and what does that take? And there's so many things that can go into play, but here's some basic things that I want to talk with you about today. One of the things that helped me, and it's interesting because I've talked about how everybody needs a coach. I have a coach. You need a coach. Whoever that is that's best for you, you need one. You got to invest in yourself. And it's interesting because one of the things that really helped me to dramatically change my life and make a big change about 7 years ago was to write a book. I knew that I had been working on this book. I felt very unworthy because who do I think I am to write a book, right? Mm-hmm. It's not like I had, solved all the problems in the world. And I really put authors on a stage or on a pedestal. What do I know? I mean, in my own right, I've earned all these awards, I've done all this stuff, but, is that worthy of a book? And so it was interesting because what made me finally, after months of struggling with this specific book, really it had been years, quite a few years at this point, about 3 or 4 years of struggling with knowing that I was being called to write and not doing it. But one of the things that really was the life changer, what was pivotal to making me get up, it wasn't one of the things, it was the thing, was the fear of loss, and it was regret. So what happened was I thought, okay, I'm getting ready to have a birthday, and I was getting ready to turn 40, and I thought in 10 years, when I turn 50, am I going to regret having not done this today? And I knew I would. I knew that I would look back and go, what if? And so I've studied since then about the art of selling from a stage and all this other stuff. And what I found is people who say, for those of you that want to take that dream vacation, sit by the poolside with that drink with the little umbrella and enjoy the sunlight on your face, get up today and come get this program, for today only, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't work, okay? Way less people are going to get up and out of the chair than those that when you say, if you are sick and tired of your stomach dropping every time the phone rings because you're afraid it's the electric company calling to say that they're going to turn your electricity off tonight if you don't get them their $127.95, today by 5 p.m. If you don't talk to that person, that the pain, you got to sell to the pain. And so I thought, wow, that is so interesting because I knew what I had experienced when it came to really stepping into writing a book. And so what I want to ask you today is, what is the cost if you don't do the things that you're supposed to do to get you where you want to go? Then what's the cost? In 6 months, where are you going to be? What are you going to regret? I remember I have a coaching client that I said, what I don't want to do with you, what I don't want you to see happen is in a year from now or 6 months from now, whenever, you've failed and you go, you know what, I'm looking back at everything and I could have done better. Like, don't do that. Leave it all out on the field. Give all in, okay? and give it all you got so that in 6 months you can say if it didn't work for you or it hasn't worked for you or in a year, whatever, and you say, you know what, Michelle, this isn't working for me, I'm going to get out of the business, then you can at least say and lay your head on the pillow at night and go, I gave it my best. Because most people that fail didn't give it their best, didn't give it their all. And so, and then they regret and they go, man, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that sooner, or maybe this could have worked. I knew I should have done it, but I didn't. I didn't call my list. I didn't do the networking I was supposed to do. I didn't do the open houses. If I could have just done the open houses, maybe that would have worked. All of that kind of stuff. And so it's like, what are you losing? What's the cost at not doing it? And is it painful? If you look back in 6 months, 8 months, a year, whatever that looks like, if you don't take the action today, what's your life going to be like? And what's the level of regret you're going to have? Woof. I'm preaching to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's a few thoughts that I had. I say this all the time because it's absolutely true. I probably say it till I'm blue in the face. Activity breeds activity. Feelings are fickle. Joyce Myers actually wrote a book about that, but it's true. Feelings are fickle. Get up and do something, because motion changes emotion. I've gotten in my office before. It's the last thing I feel like I want to do, and I get up and I go in my office and I start working, and before you know it, I'm just like, oh, well, let me take care of this too, and oh, let me print that while I'm doing this, and blah, 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 and I'm getting everything done. I'm like, wow, where was the person that, where was this energy and excitement an hour ago? Motion changes emotion, okay? So make sure, that activity breeds activity. I dare you, just go into your office when you're supposed to, and let's see what happens in an hour, where you are in an hour and how much you can get done in an hour. And see what you can do. Say, okay, I'm just going to go in there, and I'm going to get a couple of things done. I'm just going to give it an hour. And then in an hour, guess what happens? You got going, and you can't stop.
Yeah, one of the first things you have to do to be successful?
What's that?
Start.
I love it. That's right.
And it's so simple, but it's true, because sometimes you'll talk about all these grandiose things that you want to do, and you'll make your list, prioritize it, and then you don't start. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because you can tweak it as you go.
Yes. And so the other thing is, the last thing I want to say today is just do the next right thing. Okay? I want you to, there are so many times where I just sit and I think, okay, well, what's the next right thing to do? What's the next thing I need to do? Just the next right thing for your business, just the next right thing to get a deal closed, just the next right thing to get in front of clients, a listing presentation, whatever it is that's the goal. What's the next right thing? You say you want to get 3 deals done between now and next month. What's the next right thing to get that going? Sit down and be honest with yourself and say, okay, make a list and say, okay, I need to call this, I need to do that, and then do it. Emotion changes emotion. Motion changes emotion. All right? It's just that simple. Sometimes I don't feel like getting on the phone with the coaching client, but guess what? I do, and 5 minutes in, I'm already like, and another thing is activity breeds activity, and blah, blah, blah. And so, okay, what's your goal for this? And how many people is that? And blah, blah, blah. And oh, really? And so before you know it, I'm all into it, and I blink, and it's been 55 minutes on a coaching call, and it's time to get off the phone. And I'm all fired up talking to him in coaching, because just talking about the right things helps you as well and gets those energy gets that energy going, gets those creative juices flowing. And so, again, motion changes emotion, activity breeds activity. Just do the next right thing and see where it takes you. Because, again, remember and think on the pain points. Don't forget where you're going to be if you don't get those 3 closings. I want to tell you, well, think about the things that could happen in your life and the way your life could be changed if you got those 3 closings. But you know what? I know enough to know that that's probably not going to motivate you to get it done. So I'm going to tell you, think about where your life's going to be in 6 months if you are failing miserably. And so if you're not achieving the success you want, think about what's going to happen if you don't and you keep on the road you're on. Because this is about real change. This is about getting to where you want to go. And I'm going to tell you something, too. I know personally that when I get where I want to go, it can change my life and it can change the life of my family. It changed my spouse's life. It changed how we were able to raise our children. It's changed everything because I was willing to do hard things that I wasn't comfortable with, really that weren't that hard. I just wasn't comfortable. I wasn't used to it. It seemed unnatural. I was afraid of no. I overcame my fears. Now, I just texted somebody today that's a builder. He's been very busy. He hasn't hired someone else. I'm pulling it up right now. And I said, hi. And I said his name. And I said, I know you're busy. Want you to know I'm relentless at follow-up. And I did the little emoji that's, winking at you. And so, I followed up about getting together. He even sent message through the person who introduced us and said, hey, look, he's gotten your messages. He has not hired anyone else. He's not going to until he talks to you. In fact, he's talking about only hiring you and using your title company and everything else because of this, and this. He's like, so just, heads up. He's been slammed since he got back. And I just want you to know that, he's absolutely going to meet with you. Well, that's great. But you know what? I'm still going to follow up because I'm a fearless follow-upper, right? And so, but guess what? That didn't come naturally. Now I joke about it, and we've talked about that on other shows. And if you've missed any of the shows, go back and binge listen. You know how you binge watch Netflix? Binge listen to The Power of Real Estate.
Yeah, sure.
You say you want to get somewhere you've never been, do something you've never done. Listen to every episode. Because I'm telling you what, we're dropping bombs in every one, right? Some
That's
truth
right.
bombs.
Yeah.
And helping you get where you want to be. So I hope this helps you today. I want you to think about the pain. I want you to think about what there is to gain as well, but I want you to really think about that pain and go, you know what, I don't want that. Picture what 6 months of failure is going to get you. See if that might help you get up and go. I'd love to hear from you, by the way. You can always email me at Michelle@NashvilleMichelle.com or Michelle@RealEstateCoachingSimplified.com. Michelle has 2 L's. Hey, by the way, we've got a store, so go to RealEstateCoachingSimplified.com. Up at the top right-hand corner, there's a button that says Resources. You can go to the store. You can get the audio version of Selling Simplified. There's some tools and different things to help you. There's inspirational cards. There's all kinds of stuff on the store, different books that I've written and things like that. So I hope this has helped you. I look forward to talking with you next time on The Power of Real Estate. And we'll see you next time right here with Michelle Moore.
Realtors, if you're ready for the latest tools, scripts, and techniques, visit realestatecoachingsimplified.com. We'll see you next time on The Power of Real Estate with Michelle Moore.